When a journalist tries to trap J.D. Vance with tough questions about his past on live TV, he thinks he's in control. But then, things take a surprising turn that no one saw coming. Before we get into the story, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. The studio lights were bright, and the energy on one of America's most popular talk shows was intense. J.D. Vance, the newly sworn-in vice president, walked onto the set. He looked calm and confident, like someone who had nothing to hide and everything to prove. But William, the show's host, had a different plan. He's known for being direct and leaning towards progressive views. He had spent weeks getting ready for this moment. William started with his first question. Mr. Vice President, you used to criticize Trump, and now you're his right-hand man. Isn't that just you being politically convenient? Vance smiled and answered, in America, we're allowed to change our minds when we learn new things. I used to criticize the president because I didn't see the full picture. But later, I saw how his policies were helping people who had been ignored. Haven't you ever changed your mind about something important? William's expression tightened, and he moved on. Let's talk about your recent speech at the National Prayer Breakfast. You spoke about divine guidance in government decisions. Isn't that a risky mix of religion and politics? Vance calmly replied, our founders believed in moral values in leadership. They didn't fear faith. They feared dictatorship. When I took my oath, I placed my hand on the Bible because our rights come from God, not from the government. William looked uncomfortable as he shuffled his note cards. He continued, you said President Trump is God's tool for America's renewal. Don't you think that's going too far? Vance smiled again and said, I think some people in the media are more bothered by a leader who prays than by policies that harm American families. William's face turned red. Let's talk about your background. Some say you've forgotten where you came from. Vance replied calmly, where I'm from, we judge people by their character, not by how well they fit into the expectations of the political elite in Washington. William pulled at his collar nervously. So you're saying your change in views has nothing to do with wanting power? Vance responded with a steady smile. I'm saying I can't ignore what I've seen just to make critics like you happy. William was clearly losing control of the conversation. You're trying to turn this interview around, he said. Vance answered, no, I'm just trying to have an honest conversation. You brought me here thinking you could embarrass me, but really, you've shown your own bias. Vance stood up. The audience jumped to their feet, clapping loudly. William sat there shocked. His plan to corner Vance had completely failed. Vance looked straight into the camera and said, to every American who's been laughed at for their faith, made fun of for their values, or told they're on the wrong side of history, stay strong. Because real character doesn't come from pleasing critics.